Gamsel Yaiboro Number 9 National GSM Operator Kibaro Felentale Gambia Banko Kanjang Sako Milka Koleata ki internet ola karula nyimbanko Kanjang Gamsele kukuto nafe Gambia kuto konojang the fastest data network Gambia Banko Kanjang star 302 star amount has seno lapide flexi data bundle jama saya timpaje drinka tom fokoi na ebe dauda network o se taraje wato tije adiamu mansia koto boy friday WhatsApp Viber FaceTime hananga tana Facebook Insta Twitter Snapchat Gamsel is the new look mobile ni mobile na mobile be Gamsel line na bondulo for flexo Gambia la number 9 you are dealing with professionals customer satisfaction customer la satisfaction
Stewart & Co. Solicitors, a legal excellence firm in London that can help you with all aspects of your legal work. If you are looking at immigrating to the United Kingdom, Stewart & Co. can help you to set up business, buy houses in the UK, and will deal with all your legal works from start to finish.
For all your general immigration work, we can help you with that as well. If you're applying for any form of visa, whether student visas, settlement visas, marriage visas, or a child wanting to come to the United Kingdom to settle with the family, we can help you to achieve your goals.
Stewart & Co. Solicitors, a legal excellence firm specializing in conveyancing, immigration, litigation, family law, personal injury, licensing, no win, no fee. Contact us today at www.sk-solicitors.com.
In today's world, everything imaginable is on the internet, which is amazing. And to find anything, it is easy. But that's not the case for Lami. His standard internet connection is frustratingly slow, unable to focus on important things in life. He can't stream a video or search anything. He is fed up with messages like address is not found, timeout connection, and Internet Explorer cannot find web page. That's when his friend Fatima introduces him to Gamtel. At Gamtel, we provide viable, cost-effective, and sustainable internet solutions to businesses and homes. With our nationwide fiber broadband connectivity through EcoOne Gambia project, you can now say goodbye to slow internet. We provide quality services, blazing speed, and amazing customer services. All these at affordable price. Be like Lami and start using Gamtel broadband internet today. Gamtel, creating a brighter future in communication.
Sophie meew la bu sell te neex baax na ci halal ak mag yépp am na calcium iron protein ak vitamine yu bari Sophie full cream powder milk la am na 20 gram 200 gram ak 400 gram ku ko ñam dootu ko bàyyi Sophie proudly Gambian.
For us, every day is a new opportunity to make sure our first impressions are always our best and to see possibilities on the horizon, to make our facilities and services more accessible and find freedom all around us. With a location proximity to active markets, with a liberal air transportation policy, that daily pursuit is how we turn everyday opportunities for you. For all destination marketing support, customized packages for new existing airlines and operators, and for a highly ranked tourist destination, the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority is here to serve. We regulate air transport, operate and manage BIA technical requirements, merged with commercial considerations. We have experienced and well-trained aviation professionals to cater for your needs. For investment opportunities in building airport hotels, shopping malls, playground for children, do contact us on 4472-831, 4472-893. Gambia Civil Aviation Authority. We go beyond daily.
tanal ma numba yi may tanal ma ba
kon yow li ma la jox si xibaar yëpp doy la
jëlal ma numba rek gawma la
sëñ bi na nga def kii de dama ko jox xibaar gi ma dégg si yéen
waaw loto gi
wax naa ko ne alxames bu nekk ak dimanche bu nekk dañ tànn juróomi nomba si jackpot bi ku gagné juróomi nomba yi tegal nañ la $100,000 maanaam 1,000 junne ak lu teg
waaw
waaye juróomi nomba yi dafa war a méngoo su fekkee ne amoo juróomi nomba yu méngoo am nga 4 nomba yu méngoo yow dinañ la jox bonus foo du noonu la
bonus foo
waaw des na de altine bu jot talaata àllarba ak ajuma ñu génne waat beneen jackpot ne ku gi am 4 nomba yu lëkkaloo ñu tegal la $50,000 maanaam juróom fukki junni waaye nag gis nga boo amee ñetta yu méngoo ñu jox la tam bonus 3 waaye nag xàmmee ko gis nga Gambia géem yi bari nañ de waaye gis nga bii green la xàmmee ko waaw xàmmee ko bu baax a baax feneen foo taxaw bu fii di nga pet
lu ma la wax yëpp dëgg la
waaye xam nga lu ma lay xamal ma wax nga naan waaw dëgg la kay yow mi sa kanam guddi gi xam nga ne góoma la da ngeen may kompaloo man ngeen di kompaloo nañ dem ca office
xanaa nërmelu nga
ma ne nee naa nga lay laa wax
nee naa la ku ko mën la ku koy jéem duñu benn ak loto game ak ay bonus sama xéwalam yu bari fii rekk la du feneen
It's all about Christmas. Be connected to your loved ones and corporate customers. And who does that better? GPPC, the home of print production. We design and print calendars, season greetings cards, corporate kits, diaries, and much, much more to make your Christmas a moment to remember without a break. Already feeling festive? GPPC.
The Gambia Revenue Authority wishes to inform the general public that income earned from the letting or leasing of property is taxable as per the Income and Value Added Tax Act 2012. In this regard, the general public is hereby informed that payment of rental income tax is an obligation on any person who earns income from letting or leasing properties. All rental income earned from properties in the Gambia is subjected to rental income tax. There are 2 types of rental income tax. A residential rental income tax charged at the rate of 8% of gross rent received. Commercial rental income charged at the rate of 10% of gross rent received. It is important to note that failure to declare and pay rental income tax is illegal and punishable under the Income and Value Added Tax Act 2012. To pay your rental income tax, rush to the nearest GRA domestic tax office or any of GRA's designated banks. Remember to pay your taxes and on time. GRA, collecting revenue for national development.
Good evening and welcome. KERR FATOU tey ma am mbégte lool dalal fii doomi Gambien ñoo xam ne yaakaar naa ne Gambie war nañoo dégg ci ñoom ñu dalal fi doomi Gambien ñoo xam ne bu mu métti woon 22 years ñooñu dañ doon xeex rek ba tey Gambien yoo xam ne nekkuñ ci réew mi waaye réew mi rek la ñu xalaat waaye Gambien yoo xam ne gisoon nañ leen sax ñu dugal leen jéel dugal leen ci loo xam ne Gambia rek a taxoon du keneen du seen ay affaire du keneen wara du keneen kon tey ñooñu bu ñëwee seet si Gambia ñëw si ñu Gambia foog naa ne Gambien yi war nañ leen a celebrate war nañ leen a ràññee waaye tam war nañ leen a delloo njukkal kon tey Dadi Njaay KERR FATOU am na solo ma am mbégte lool dalal fii suma brother mu nekk kenn si Gambien yoo xam ne man personally dama ko naw muy coach Pa Samba Diaw coach welcome to KERR FATOU ñu am mbégte lool nag dalal la fi wax naa pataane yow moom dama laa sefal red carpet te kontaan naa ne tey we able to have you on KERR FATOU.
well ma delloo njukkal gi di la gërëm it ci wax ju rafet jooju pare it di la gërëm ci liggéey bi nga xam ne moom ngay def ngir liggéey bu gën a am solo su suñu réew fu mu nekk nii mooy liggéey bi nga xam ne moom gën a def jërëjëf.
waaw ba tey rek si programme yi comme ni ma ko waxee bu Gambie métier woon ñu ne dañu am pour xeex génnee dictatorship ñu ne nag amuñ xaalis ñuy xeex nag ak koo xam ne du xaalis du daraja du man-man du am nit lépp am na ko waaye ñun naka lañ mën a ñëwee together pour xeex kii nga xam ne am na doole mënuñ sax xam naka lañ ko xeexee ñu am mbootaay boo xam ne ñu ooyee ko Gambia GDF Gambia Democracy Fund ñu nekk ñoo xam ne ñoo jël te take the lead role ñu ne Gambia nañ leen nekk benn ñu dooleel suñu opposition leaders yi dooleel mooy lan ñu jox leen xaalis xam nañ ne buñ amutoon xaalis ñu réew mi ñu wër ko campagne kon duñ mën a toll fu nekk nii kenn si ñoom Mbi Kubali, welcome to KERR FATOU and it's a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be invited to your show. And I've watched all of you for quite a while. I've watched a lot of the episodes, and you all are doing a wonderful job. And I encourage you to keep it up and continue to give the voice that the Gambian people want.
And thank you so much. And it's also a pleasure having Sumo brother, ñëpp xamee ko nag Honest Gambia moom bokk na ci ñi nga xam ne time boobu su ma daan déglu sa civic education show bi nga daan def on Freedom Radio mu nekkoon show boo xam ne dafa jàngal Gambian si lu bari lu nga xam ne si économie because dama di wax ne xeex bi was not one fold ñii ñu ngi si radio yi di wax di dajale xaalis ñii ñu ngi si radio yi di wax nit ñi économie bi Gambia naka la mel naka la yaaxoo naka lañ war a def te loolu yëpp Gambian yi they needed to hear all these stories pour ñu mun a xeex génne Jammeh and you were one of those voices nga xam ne you were there every day in day out but at some point you had to come in si Facebook live bi di wax ak Gambian yi xeex bi métti woon waaye tey ñu am mbégte lool yow tam dara la fi KERR FATOU and thank you for coming to KERR FATOU in our studio today.
Well, thank you Fatou. It's a pleasure. It's a great honor for me to be here today. Wow, this platform is a great one. I have followed this platform from the word go when you started, and I've seen a lot of great people who's been here. So for me to be invited here is a big honor for me, and I just say thank you.
Thank you so much, Daddy.
Well, it's nice having people that are household names when the going was tough. But as JFK once said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. I always believe, and I still believe, and I'm a firm believer of the rights of a citizen, but foremost, I believe in duty, honor to country. So fighting for your country is a duty. And as much as it's a duty, it's also an honor. You know, a lot of us and a lot of people suffered in the process of fighting for our country and fighting for our convictions. But nonetheless, the truth always prevails, and the darkness that Gambia was living under has passed, and the dawn of a new day has emerged. But as much as of a dawn of a new day has emerged, we're still not out of the darkness. Why aren't we out of the darkness? A lot of things that happened in the past are slowly creeping in. Sycophancy, cronyism, nepotism. So the fight is not over. We need to sustain what was done, and we need to double up, because 22 years of our lives, I consider it as arrested development. Someone who was 1920 in 1994 lost the most productive part or time of his life to the butcher of Kanilai, and we should not allow another person to arrest our development or the trajectory of this country and where it ought to go. So I welcome you to our platform, and I do hope you will add your voice of reasoning to the general population for them to know that this is just not done. So we should not celebrate. We should roll our sleeves and work.
gis nañ liñ def mënoon nañoo def ñi ñëpp def rek toog waaye defuñ loolu jël nañ seen time jël nañ seen alal jël nañ seen doole yëpp dugal ko ci benn common goal bi nga xam ne ñun waa Gambie moom lañ amoon mooy pour end dictatorship ñu am a new government am démocratie ñu seet pour ñoo dem nga xam ne ñun ñi nga xam ne ñoo gën a ndaw ñoo ñun la daal gars yi mel ni ñun lañ doon xaalal yoon bi parce que soo leen seetloo ñoom ñu bari ñu mag nañ te liñ def pour dëkk bi ñun ñi nga xam ne ñoo gën a ndaw ñun ñoo see gën a bénéfice soo tey pour nga am ñooñu ñoo toog fii si suñu plateforme yi KERR FATOU loolu si la ñoo kontaan trop la parce que képp koo xam ne yaa ngi ñoo seetaan am na ñoo xam ne amuñu woon access to internet pour xam ñii seen liggéey soo tey su gaa yi ñëwee toog fii suñu yaay yi nga xam ne ñoo nekk si kër yi tamit it's very good ne invite nañ leen ñu mun a dégga ñii seen def ak comme ni ko dali waxee jeexut ba pare ñu delloo leen njukkal leen wax ne jërëjëf gis ngeen fi ngeen taxawu Gambia te xeex bi jeexut dafa just commencé nañ ko continuer because ñun ñëpp benn motif lañ am te mooy Gambia dem si kanam mooy Gambia mu nekk Gambia boo xam ne ku nekk di nga mun a jóg def sa man joxe sa wàlla te doo am doo tiit doo ragal so ñii ñu bokk si ñoo xam ne ñoo ñu xeexal loolu Fatou kon KERR FATOU su leen invité kontaan nañ trop pour ñoom tam ñu accept invitation bi pour ñu toog fii ak ñun tey
waaw coach xeex bi nag métti woon but 22 years ñu gis at some point def ngeen lu nekk protest ngeen fu nekk nag wax ngeen lu nekk konkon ngeen bunta bu nekk how was it like 22 years di xeex rek te mosuleen a tàyyi
well xam nga tàyyite soo ko def da nga am sañ-sañ bi ñun sañuñu woon pour tàyyi te lu taxoon sañuñu woon pour tàyyi mooy suñu réew noot gi nga xam ne moo fi newoon ngir xeexoon Yaaya Jammeh dafa neexoon waaye dafa métti woon dana ko neexoon gis nga kuy xeex da nga am li nga xeex Yaaya Jammeh bër bu set daf ñu naan jox lu tax ñu war a xeex ngir su saagee soosa yi ëllëg rey na papi jàmbur gannaaw ëllëg daaneel na néegi jàmbur soo nit ki sa conscience warulaa mun a may nga gis nit kuy daanu ci kaw nit yow nga toog téye sa boppa xam nga Dr. King man dama gis ni Dr. King dafa nekk koo xam ne nii Martin Luther King Jr. koo xam ne dama ko lay follow a lot dafa am wax ju waxoon mu ne an individual has not started living until he can rise above the narrow confines of his individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity. So man to me ak ñeneen ñi nga xam ñoo doon xeex amoon na time nag wéetoon na waaye nag wéetaay bi lu ko indi woon mooy ñàkk eewute gi nag nekkute dañ dofoon waaye dañ eewutoon si li nga xam ne mooy woon yàq nguur ak yàq réew waaye nag gis nga bu xeex bi continuer wàlli yaan yi bari ngir ku nekk door na di si gis boppam ngir soo gisee tey Yaaya nu mu doon doxalee tey di nga toog jàpp sa jàmbur ne laaluma bala ngaa jeexal ñu ne sa nijaay diw sangam ñu ne anam ñu ne jël nañ ko yóbbu nañ ko kaso loolu boole la ci xeex bi moo tax dama believe ne gis nga sax pour lu jeexal xeex bi Gambie Yaaya Jammeh dafa dem bi amatul kenn ku des ci réew mi koo xam ne toroxalu ko and xam nga duñ yaa ne ñu ne di soo leen xaritoo su fekkee ne xeex noon moo leen xaritoo bés ba noon ba naka su noon ba naka xalakoo ñu ne naka sometimes ñu ne xaritoo ba dafaa jeex waaye nag ñun ñëpp du ñu boole woon mooy benn noon lañ amoon xeex nañ ko ba mu xalaku te la ko xalak mooy lan di nga xam ne moom la na def doomi Gambie soo ñëpp a ci bokkoon xeex bi nag métti woon na waaye nag tey ñu ngi nii toog fii Gambia Yaaya Jammeh nga naka la tudd benn néeg rek so waaw it's bittersweet
te mun naa am dina ñib si fan yi de ndig te bataaxeel yi ñuy jot jógee boor boobu mooy am na machinerie yu bugg a jógee Cameroon dugga si te loolu bu xewee li daloon Bukaasa moo yóbbu woon boppam mu ñibbi ne leen mangoog non seriously yaakaar naa ne ñun ñu ngi koy yaakamti waaye su muytu dina ñëwal boppam ndig te Yaaya ñeme ñu torox te ñeme ñu coono gémmiñ la am waaye amul fit kon nag nañ ko séentu
dari li nga wax rëy na te Gambien fi fu naa ne pareeguñ ya dalal Yaaya
kañ
non pareeguñ
dama nañ la famille kooku fu mu nekk wëñ sax a ko fa doole
Mr. Kubale, how does it feel to be back home after fighting a dictatorship that none of us thought would have been able to achieve it today? And how does it feel to be back home after like 12 years? How does it feel to be back home?
I'm not sure if I can express that because when I started my journey, I started parking at home. My kids knew I was coming. There was this fear of what were you going to go meet in the Gambia. There's still a sense of fear that you're coming back. You're coming back to something that you've left, kind of lost it. You don't know what you were going back to. But at the same time, it was very joyous coming back home where you loved, where you were born. And coming back knowing that you fought. So there was a sense of pride, a sense of accomplishment, knowing that our people went through a dictatorship, but we also never kept quiet. Because at some point, a lot of people like Coach were mentally retarded or they didn't have anything better to do. But some of us that obviously continued, because you have to understand where all this started. It didn't start with us. It started way back. You know, that's how GDF came in, because the coaches did their thing. So the foundation kept building. Like Coach said, at some point, it just ran out. But you know, coming back home, it's one of those things. Nyang said it very well. Yes, we have conquered the dictator. But when you come home, you see things that you wonder, what next? There's a lot of work, and this is where the Gambian people need to understand. We have attained something, but there is more to be done in this country. And I think I encourage every Gambian to take the time to come back here, just like people like you have done, and many of us that are here right now, trying to test the waters and understand what it takes. But at the end of the day, it's great. It's a great feeling. It's worth the fight, and you know, I'm really glad to be here. And you know,
and then the GDF. How did you guys do this? I mean, I listen to sometimes the man takes my laptop, mangi deglu gaynako. Ma def suma phone, mangi Fatou network. Ma def benen phone, mangi freedom. The way you mobilized Gambians, how were you guys able to do this? Because Gambian from every corner, every deka, deglu nañ and they support it. How were you guys able to coordinate this?
Well, I mean, it comes back to, I have to give credit to Alaji Sow, because I remember the original conversation I had with Sow. It's like, Kubali, we cannot win this fight without money.
Yeah.
And I said, how are we going to make money? We've been doing this for a very long time. He's like, if we need to go to the Ngentes and beg for money, we'll have to do it.
Wow.
But then I think coaching them, there was groups that had evolved. And gradually, it's a sense of belief that you have to establish trust with the people. And acting, because when the new Gambia came, you acted to get your show going. So there's something in the human being that you have to act and more like sell your idea to the people. The Gambian people wanted something done. They wanted trust. They were willing to go and march in the cold. And we just thought we will ask. And once you asked, one thing that really worked for me, I know as GDF, is that I kept asking. And the support that was around there. The people like the coaches that were encouraging. We would have coach on these radios. We will have Fatou cover on the radios. We will have the Tukulor Seas. And I cannot come here and speak about GDF without really telling the Gambian people who these people are. I would name them all. We had Tukulor C, who was one of the ladies, the fierce fighter. My wife, who dumps me for every other man that was popular. And then we had Juka Cisse, who was also a really good organizer. We had Lamin Jada, Baba Koli, who people don't really know. This is some of the people behind the scenes. The crazy part of PJ, we all know. And we had Keja Ture, was also there. And you know, a bunch of people, Demba Balde, and you know, the
Lamin
Tunkara, obviously, you know, it's somebody that you know, fought really hard too. And we had people like the Yunus Haidaras. So in a sense, GDF was Gambia. Behind the scenes, when we got attacked, people like Coach would call us in the background and say, Wiley, this is how it is. You cannot stop. We believe you. And when freedom goes crazy on us and people accuse us, these are the people that will defend you. So at some point when you look back, you saw people and you kept going.
Fatou, Omar and Fatou, he's very right. What happened, the silent majority of Gambians ended up becoming the critical mass. So it was a spontaneous reaction to vent our frustration, and people were now putting their monies where their mouths were. And basically, GDF became a vehicle that the silent majority rode on to really extinct and wipe out the dreadful and terrible butcher we all knew as Yaya Jammeh.
Sehu, you were one of the voices that every Thursday was on Freedom to talk to us about the economy. That exactly was one aspect that Gambians really, really learned a lot from. Because some of us were like, you know, economy. So we didn't know all these details. You were there every Thursday. The civic education show. It was one show that was really, really popular and it moved so many people. How was the fight like?
Oh, thank you, Fatou. You mentioned about civic education show, about this all started way back before civic education started. Like my colleague said, like Coach, I want to pay tribute to Coach Pasamba and Krubali. These are the people who've been there longer than us. He's been there for the longest period. Prior to the start of this conversation, I asked him, what was the last time he visited? Wow, 1995, 96? It's a long time. And Kurubali 12 years. I was here in 2011, so for me it's not that long. But coming back to the crux of the question that you asked about the civic education show, well, we all, when Jammeh was in power, well, it's no brainer that we all knew from that things were not right in our country. Gambians live under fear, state of arrest, arbitrary arrest, torture, everything. We were virtually enslaved. And when I finished my master's degree course, I said, no, I can no longer sit on the side. I have to actually take part in this. I have to speak up. Well, I started participating freedom, and I want to pay tribute to Panderi, even though, well, some things like that. Look, we can disagree with him, but he actually
played a role.
He played a pivotal role in making people aware. He started this freedom newspaper, the Freedom Radio, and I was glued up to that medium. At the point, I thought power was like he had personal issues with Jammeh. But as time went on, I realized that all the things that he used to say, no, the things were true. Like Jammeh was a dictator. And I glued up to freedom, and I started participating in freedom. I started calling in, and I participated. And then in 2013, I said, you know what, I'm going to start a civic education show program. And I initiated that. I spoke to Pa, and he welcomed the idea. And he said, yeah, bro, we can do this every Thursday. And then it all started. And I had the support of the people because like this platform, if you don't have audience, it would be meaningless. So the Gambian people started listening to us. And then this sort of build up momentum. Obviously, sometimes we discuss controversial issues. We had a go at each other. Me and my good friend Krubali, had moments, and like we would disagree, GDF, but it's all part of the democratic process. Within the struggle, we had to disagree. I had my disagreements with Coach, I'm sure, Krubali and everybody, but it's all for the good of Gambia, not anything sinister in my view. But it all paid off because come December 1st, 2016, we all came together. We supported a coalition, 7 political parties with 1 independent, and then we had I remember vividly, Coach, they had this program on Sunday, 40 people by the people. People used to call it, no, these people are not going to get together, the political parties couldn't get together. We had all sort of disagreement. I was one of the people who believed that there was no way elections could defeat Jammeh. I said it on Gainako. People who went mad at me, that because I couldn't contemplate Jammeh conceding defeat. But some people had the belief.
Thank you very much, Sehu. Now that so many people sacrificed the Banka Manes, the Chernon Jais, the Alaji Barros, the
Jaja Nyas,
the Lama
Jaga
Jans. But Duga, Mangifatelo Duga, when they were embassy, that picture still never make a small bop, when they had them all handcuffs. Sohna Sala. Jigen Kumel Nikobu, you gislen, you arrest those moments, Coach, so to in your Gambia, the fatal could be you, bringing them to protest. Mangi remember Bujaya Jam in America, when you door near certain people, and all of those, when talking halad bis you get talk to Gambia, how does it make you feel?
Proud. Wow. Definitely, because talking about the arrest at the embassy, Operation Borbor. Borbor is the nicest Gambian tea anyway. It's something that we thought about. The whole process almost 9 months. Because we started thinking about it in February until we could execute in October, I think it was October 9th. And it came out of reading other struggles. Because if you would know Randall Robinson, defending the spirit, he wrote about when they went and occupied the South African embassy on a slow news day, Thanksgiving Day, that led to their arrest. And before you know it, every day a senator was being arrested, a celebrity was being arrested. That was when Reagan was supporting apartheid South Africa. And the arrest spurred the interest of the American media now. Now they were, okay, the senators, what are they being arrested for? And of course, when the American media started reporting that, they also needed to have a background information of what was happening. Now, apartheid and the atrocities were now in the living rooms of Americans. So now Americans became really angry that people are being treated like that, and that forced the Reagan administration to finally agree to put sanctions on the apartheid regime, of course, ending apartheid in Nakal.
South Africa.
We decided our struggle, because of the size of our country, we have nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody pretty much cares about us. Why we needed to do something drastic that would draw the attention of the world to us. And we know that if America gets, attention in America, we might get this. Yeah. So we decided, we knew we were going to be arrested. We had a lawyer's legal advice and everything. Our lawyer was there.
Oh, wow.
And so we decided, okay, this is what was going to happen. Who was going to volunteer to be arrested? There are some of us who had clearances for their jobs, they cannot be arrested. Yeah. So Sohna, Os, and myself decided, you know what, we are going to. And I remember the day before it happened, we went to Home Depot, the practice, and the guy was, what is this for? Never mind, don't tell me. So we did all that. But the great thing about it was how we were able to keep it, among us. Yeah. The media did not know until about, I called Pandiri about less than 5 minutes before getting in. Neko, there is a number that you can call, just call there and listen to what's going on. So we were able to get in, and of course we got arrested. And we were given opportunities, because in the US, if you're protesting before you're arrested, you're giving warnings 3 times. Yeah. We told them we are going to be arrested. So all we are asking was just new chance while we read our message. So the Secret Service were fine, because they protect the embassies. And when, after the second warning, we told all our other comrades, you guys can go downstairs and meet us there, and we're going. So of course we were arrested, and walking out with the Secret Service, escorting us and us singing the national anthem was the greatest feeling ever. And the support of the Gambian people was massive. Because when you're arrested there, you don't know time. You got total loss of time. Yeah. I woke up in the middle of the night, like the guard, what time is it? When around 11 o'clock. I thought it was 4 a.m. in the morning. So, but it was a great feeling, and I believe that it served its purpose. Because very soon, people started talking about it. The media started talking about it. We went to court, and we made an argument. I told them, listen, we're going to argue that the embassy is a territory of the Gambia, meaning America does not have jurisdiction to try us for crimes committed in the embassy. And of course, when the lawyer came, the prosecutor, she could not answer to that. So she asked for adjournment. Called the Justice Department, they did their research and came back and argued about it. It was a great feeling, and to have the lawyers who defended us saying, you know what, we wanted to be part of this history. Yeah. So we're going to try the case pro bono, where it was not possible. They said they would charge $1 just to try the case. And so it was great, and to the people died. Yeah. We did our protest a little after Amadou Sane was tortured. You saw the agony in that man's face for doing nothing. And it was few days after Single Nyasi had died. So we were like, okay, when we arrested Mama Osnigi talks Selby together, we were like, listen, we're here being treated respectfully. Imagine the condition of Amadou Sane. Imagine the death of Single Nyasi. So we were ready to go the extra mile. Whatever the outcome was, it was. But it was something that was necessary to be done, and we did it. And to me, it's the proudest moment of my life, and I will never erase it.
We definitely want to thank Duga DC. I think Duga was one of the forces. He was really, really strong, and the sacrifice definitely was very immense, and I think we really want to commend you guys. Mr. Kubali, what do you think was the turning point? What really moved Gambians who knew for us to come together? What do you think? At what point did you think Gambians really thought it was enough? Germany needed to go?
Well, I'm not sure if there is one single point. I think it was multiple things happened. Yeah. I think at some point Jammeh himself stopped listening to the Gambian people. Yeah. And he became so arrogant where he was insulting the people. I thought the Mile 29 was a breaking point. Yes. But most important, after that, people knew, okay, these people were killed, but they were prisoners. Okay, so you can excuse that and you can argue that. Then the insults came. Yeah. But when the Gambian family started feeling the back way, when their sons and daughters were drowning, when they were seeing that Gambians were leaving the country because of Yaya, and that they were dying in hundreds and thousands, then it came home. And then the women, I think it really, because at some point the educated ones in the West Coast, the Banjul area, they kind of got it. But when it started getting into Basse, where our cousins were dying in the back way, and they were having to bury them, or the women were not seeing their people, it occurred to them that we have to do this. Then came the coalition, because the Gambian people wanted one thing. They didn't have trust in any opposition at that point. This is arguable, of course. But they wanted us to come together. And I think once the Gambian people chipped in their money, and there was a conference where they were able to pick a leader, then they're like, okay, now that these people have all put their differences behind, they've picked a leader, let's go. But I think it's just a multiple of things, from the insults. At some point, like, he stated, Jammeh actually got himself fired. Actually, he got himself voted out of office. Arrogancy, insulting people, killing people, not creating jobs. And I think if this government learns anything of the past, is the youths. Because if the youths don't get a job, it's going to hit home. It's going to take a while. And once they take care of the youths, then the old ladies are going to be taken care of, the uncles are going to be taken care of, and then we will start seeing relief and respect for our
the fear factor. I want to time Gambia. So they will say, hey, camera young for that. I went to America, man. I always say this. I went to America, and then every single day, man, America fee. If I can think that way, like Suma Papa every day will call me, my grandmother, hey, Fatou, you need to jump for it. Even if they see something. So for me, man, personally, man, I had that fear, man, America. America, how were we able to get that fear factor? Because that was what he put on us. How were Gambian, especially diasporans? I think the diasporans, the WhatsApp groups, did a lot in gaining the Gambians.
Fatou, I'll use these 3D words: the desire, determination, and discipline. Look, the fear was there. Fear being for one. People were afraid, and rightfully so, because we were dealing with a psychopath, person who you wouldn't, to kill somebody was just like drinking water for him, a glass of water for him. So. Rightfully so, people were afraid. But like you said, a combination of factors, just like Kurubali said, culminated into breaking that fear little by little. You mentioned the WhatsApp group played crucial role because people were talking openly in those groups and sending it back home. The people in the provinces were listening to those messages, and slowly, people started having confidence now. After all, the man was mortal. Okay, he's not like Nitlarek hunger. So people say no, this is too much. But again, just to add on to what the question that you asked, Krobali, the pivotal point, combination of factors you mentioned about the mile to 9. But look, what happened in 2016 with Solo Sunday? Was the pivotal point in the whole course for me.
Some will say, it was
but again, look, Fast Joy played a part. But for me, the pivotal point was the solo.
I totally agree with you, because I was on the ground. And see, when we say the solo standing, it was brutal how he was murdered, but it's the defiance that came thereafter.
Exactly.
The court cases and the public show of support and frustration that the Gambians vented. And what happened? The fear factor dissipated overnight. As monstrous as Yaya Jammeh was, David was willing to meet Goliath, and the Gambians were David and Jammeh was Goliath in our mindset. But later we realized that Goliath was nothing but a punk. And from there on, Jammeh was just another
human being.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, just to add on to that, look, human life will always be human life. Let nobody make a mistake.
Yeah.
We're not giving more importance to the death of Selosane than the death of Data Haidara, Keith Mani, and all the others, and the students that were shot in 2000.
April 10,
but everything sometimes will have to get something that will trigger it.
Yeah.
What actually triggered the move by the UDP leader, Usain Dabo, while he came out just after Selosane and was brutally murdered, and that actually galvanized a lot of support, even within the political spectrum, at the level of the international community. And I think that, to me, before that as well, Jammeh committed a political blunder by insulting the Mandingos.
Yes.
That was a political blunder because, look, all tribes are equal in this country, but everywhere you go, if you go to Great Britain, the majority, the whites, form the majority of the population. So if you want to go and then be so brutal, so condescending against the majority tribe, the people that have time and time voted for you, if you look at the election results from 96, Jammeh had been winning in the traditional Mandinka strongholds. But you cannot insult me and you expect me to vote for you. And then that actually put the wake-up call for a lot of Mandingos and said, no, enough of this now. We have to go all out to remove this man. So I think, true, it's a combination of factors. Because the man actually, shot himself on the foot many times. Did a lot of things. But then it reached a point where it reached the climax and people said, no, enough of this.
Enough of this. I think we're going to take our first commercial break. But when we come back, it's a new Gambia. It's a new president. It's a new government. But really, 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 is this what we expect from a new government? And of course, people say, diaspora ni ñoom daal ñu ngi toog fële America ñoom coach ñu ne daal ñoom ñooy doxal nguur gi so we'll take our first commercial break. When we come back dinañ gën a yaatal waxtaan bi.
Universal Properties, the dynamic and most trusted agency in real estate and property management.
We are here to make housing affordable, accessible for every Gambian, despite their financial status.
What makes Universal outstanding in the market is our flexible payment plans.
We set standards in sales and letting of quality properties, mortgage, leasing, rentals, property valuation, construction, and many more.
All our sites are fitted with social amenities such as schools, water, electricity, praying ground, and a good road network. In Sukuta Phase 1 and 2, Jambanjeli, Sanyang, Brikama, Lamin Daranka, and Gunjur coming up soon.
Doing business with Universal Properties, it's a very wonderful experience.
Universal Properties, FIB House, Caraba Avenue.
The Gambia Revenue Authority wishes to inform the general public that income earned from the letting or leasing of property is taxable as per the Income and Value Added Tax Act 2012. In this regard, the general public is hereby informed that payment of rental income tax is an obligation on any person who earns income from letting or leasing properties. All rental income earned from properties in the Gambia is subjected to rental income tax. There are two types of rental income tax: a residential rental income tax charged at the rate of 8% of gross rent received. Commercial rental income charged at the rate of 10% of gross rent received. It is important to note that failure to declare and pay rental income tax is illegal and punishable under the Income and Value Added Tax Act 2012. To pay your rental income tax, rush to the nearest GRA domestic tax office or any of GRA's designated banks. Remember to pay your taxes and on time. GRA, collecting revenue for national development.
Do you want the best in office supplies? Do you want value for money? Then look no further. Vital Trading Limited is here for you. Vital Trading Limited is the best in town when it comes to office supplies and all your printing needs. We brand, rebrand, design and print logos, flyers, caps, pens, 3D signboards, neon signboards, envelopes, and many more. We also have bank coin counters, bank note counters, fire protect safes, just to name a few. At Vital Trading Limited, satisfaction is guaranteed and we deliver on time. Visit our office today on the Bertel Harding Highway opposite the GNPC petrol station. Better still, call us on 4498756, 4498962. Visit our website today, www.vitaltradinglimited.com. Want the best in all your office supplies and printing needs? Then come to Vital Trading Limited.
Welcome back to KERR FATOU. Comme ni ñu ko defee rek first part bi nag waxtaan nañ xeex bi naka la dooree naka lañ xeexee léegi nag nguur bu bees am na coach cabinet am na ñu ngi jéem a taxawal institutions yi waaye digga coach ndax nguur gu gees gi nga gis nii lii nga yaakaaroon suñu Gambia bi.
Well, xam nga loolu is a very complex question.
Waaw.
ngir man dama feel ne ñaari gàtt xel ñoo am.
Waaw.
mooy ku soppoon nguur gi ba foog ne nguur gi mënuñoo def lu bon.
Waaw.
mbaa ku bañ nguur gi ba foog ne nguur gi mënuñoo def lu baax.
Waaw.
loolu gàtt xel la.
Waaw.
Now nañ seet ñun si lan lañ jógee.
Waaw.
ak lan moo sampo. man dama foog ne bépp koo xam ne yaa ngi soppoon nguur gi.
Waaw.
foog ne luñ ko ŋàññee rek warut. bon dafa mel ni yow da nga foog ne Yaya Jammeh liggéey na fi liggéey boo xam ne réew mi daal jëpp a ngi woon. nu mu ngee dox ni mu war a doxee. Now nguur gi they will have challenges.
Yeah.
And those challenges are expected because of after coming out of 22 years of brutal dictatorship. This country was at the brink of collapse. There is no institution Sidika before, but you want to look at. Ghana institutions we were spared by Yaya Jammeh. What is expected from this government? The government to start working different from what Yaya Jammeh was doing. And that is a government that would respect the laws because our biggest problem in the Gambia was governance. Because and then lack of respect for fundamental rights and freedoms. So I believe that the objective of this government was not only to start rebuilding the institutions, because government is a transition government. So what they have to do is to pave the way so that these processes would continue. Because when I finish the new sociality, Yahya Jammeh can take anywhere between 30 to 50 years for us to come back. Why we have something we can rely on more ideas. Because I think his name was Usman Gom. This man impressed me so much at the tough construction seminar.
Wow. Okay.
And he said something that if you look at Dubai, people make the misconception that it was developed by oil, but its development came from ideas. The man, I believe that if there is one thing that is not that is not short in this country, more ideas. Whether Gambians on the ground or Gambians abroad. So man, to me, suma gis government, I believe there should be sacrifice on the part of the government because of the wastage in through. Let's not act like everything is normal and then believe we will run this country like because it's not normal. But I also take solace in looking at the other day the madam Carnifing South. Mangi anda suma sister ak domam yi. Then I see bitiki polini. I saw somebody walking and I know the guy. I was looking at this guy. Mu ngi dox slowly taxaw ci line bi ki jënda mu jënda lu mo jënda dugal ci posam and then walk back. Who was that? D.A. Jao. The Minister of Interior. So to me, information, sorry. To me, this somebody ki nga xamne ni understands, you know what, I'm not going to be changed by this position or this situation. What I also believe this government too, there was directive moto yi ñoo joxe now permanent secretary everybody else lijentel sa bopa. But I believe it should not stop there. We have to change our ways. We have to have a total attitudinal change. And it's not only start with just the people. It should not be from the bottom up, from the top down. But I also believe if there is one problem that this government has, is the problem of communication.
Yes.
Because if you tell me, I'm weekly press conference. Now, who are the press conference for? Man, they gonna angle you but the person kinga hamne ni mungedeka Basse Santasu, or Manekunda, or somewhere Numuyel, or one of these other villages. Chances are they don't even understand what you're talking about. And this government came with a lot of euphoria and very extreme expectations. So unless this government, and I've said this to the vice president, I've said this to DA, I've said this to every government official that I've spoken to, not here, but when I was there, you have to be brutally honest with the Gambian people. And the honesty is to tell them how far we have come, the damages that have been done, and how long it would take us to solve these problems. When you do that, then you will have an ally with the people, because they would say, you know what, nguur gu fi nekk nii de definitely lii la gaa yi naka la tudda naka jël from Yaya Jammeh te foog mu jar ñun ñëpp ñu takka suñ digga pour liggéey ko, waaye nag takka ndigga warta em si nit ñi rek ñoom ñu takka seen digga ñi nga xam ne ñoo nekk si kaw firi seen digga du demee noonu. Ñun ñëpp a ci war a bokk. All hands should be on deck. And I believe ne Barrow has one unique advantage. Barrow is a very good communicator. I've listened to this guy speak in Wolof, Mandinka, and when he speaks and becomes very comfortable in the local languages, you will sit and listen to him. Man, I believe me. Barrow could tell me, you know what, maybe every fortnight I would speak full laiwa. Bandirabe. Li mo nekk situation bi li lañu def fi lañ tollu ni la demé, then the people in person would say, you know what, he's talking to me. I understand. The other fortnight got in speak in Mandinka, elek Sarawule, gannaaw elek Wolof, before you know it, the whole country would be speaking with one voice because they would understand the problem. And to say Roosevelt, he would know this more than I do. The fireside chat, you know, Bumlan Am. That was during the Great Depression in the United States. What this guy was doing, Daddy Radio, the fact of almost every night or so, and talk to the American people, the people that were suffering. And you know what? They became patriots because they understood the problem and take it as, you know, this is an American problem, it's not only my problem. What do we do to and before you know, look at America's economy today. And communication, unless they do it, don't tell me, oh, DA Jawa have a press conference every month, or president speaks every 2 weeks, or the press secretary every other week or so. That's not enough. That's not the communication we're talking about. We're talking about Skone Barosa. Let him be sending his ministers. Sometimes you them si Bantabasa Toga Nili agriculture, li problem. While Lila there. When you talk to people, they believe that they are part of the problem. When you feel that they would just know, you just get the Mercedes Benz, is air conditioned, they also pick up your word, they will not understand. And the lack of development may not be your fault, but your lack of communication is the reason why people's expectations continue to rise to the extent of frustration, because they will not listen to you anymore, and the only thing they are talking about, boy. So I feel insulted when I hear people say, and people are saying it, but there is a reason for that, because of the lack of communication from this region.
You know, Coach is very right. We have a problem. The problem is communication should always be interactive. I mean, that's why it's called dialogue, not monologue. And what we've been getting out of the government a lot is monologue, instructions, and FYI, for your information. See, communication should be a two-way stream, meaning our expectations need to be tamed and dampened, but the only way it can happen is for them to realistically tell us what they can do and also show us a framework. This is what we have inherited, but this is where we want to go. And if that can't happen in 48 hours, one month, 2 months, something is fundamentally wrong. Gambians are not looking for solutions, but they want a clear roadmap. And that roadmap is just a vision. And that vision cannot be spearheaded by no other person than the citizen-in-chief, the president. I therefore think that the president needs to revisit 3 things. His own office, the executive office. They need a better communication strategy. And sometimes, as a Gambian, I feel dishonored when I hear that there is a consultant brought in to help with the communication strategy of the country, when that consultant doesn't understand our cultural nuances, don't understand what our issues are. You see, we need to take the bull by the horn and say that we Gambians don't respect homegrown talent. We Gambians don't respect indigenous intellect. We Gambians look down upon us as solution providers to our festering problems. And the only way that can change is for our leadership to be decisive and empower the locals. And once they empower the locals, we know what our problems are, not the outsiders. And you know what? salvation starts from within, and Gambians will be the only people who will salvage their situation, not outsiders.
Mr. Kubari, you are one of those people who I always follow, and you're always telling us, be patient. Let's give them time. We know they inherited so many bad things, and they're gonna be there. You are always giving us assurance. You're always telling people to be patient because it's a new government, and they inherited so many bad things. Coming back home, though, what's your assessment of the government, and what are the situations you have observed, and what do you think really they should do, and what should they improve upon?
Great question. When you're in the diaspora, I did a posting on Facebook, and I said the realities on the ground is different.
I saw that.
From, yes.
I saw that yesterday.
Because when you get in here,
yeah,
people are trying to survive.
Yeah.
People are trying to leave. They want a job, and they want to move on. My call for patience is based on where we came from.
Yeah.
Leadership is a very difficult art.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done. And Monday morning quarterbacking is the easiest after the game is played. But with that said, I think the government now has been in place for a year.
Yeah.
And I have been in the diaspora calling for a lot of patience. And now that I've been here and I've looked at the situation, I had an honest conversation with a friend yesterday, and I said, this country needs a lot of work.
Yes.
The roads are bad. Unemployment is high. The health situation in the country, it's poor.
Yeah.
But people are not discussing that.
Yeah.
People are more busy discussing the political fight that's happening, the political discussion in the next 3 to 5 years, depending on who you speak with.
Yeah.
I think what the government had to do right now is to understand that they have been put into place after a dictatorship that had killed, not created employment, and the people that brought about the change that they're enjoying right now, or we're all enjoying, is the youths. Because many of us that are sitting here, you're set. Coach, chances are is very set. I'm set. Anybody who is 35 and above, pretty much now, you need to take a look at how to create jobs.
Yeah.
The funding is coming in. What are we doing with the funding?
Yeah.
Like Mr. Njai stated over here,
Yeah.
we have the experts. And to be a good leader, you have to open up and trust.
Yeah.
You don't know all.
Yeah.
George Bush was not the greatest leader, but he surrounded himself with people that helped him, depending on who you speak with. And now we're seeing that he's not as bad compared to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
President Obama, he surrounded himself. The Democratic Party, when they looked at Obama, when Dashiell lost, they took Dashiell's team and gave him to Obama to prepare him for the presidency. So what Barrow and this government needs to understand is, this is not child's play anymore. This is about life and death. When you come in and you're sleeping and there is trash burning over there, you're inhaling it. But then when you go to the hospitals, there's no medication. It is time that they engage Gambians. For the last 22 years, Gambians have traveled the world.
Yeah.
They have experience, name it. Medical administration. There's nothing what the Gambian cannot do today. As you bring in foreign investment, also look at the Gambians that are home. People like the Njais, a whole bunch of other people. Sadly is a great economist. Coach Pasamajawa has been doing a job over there. They had to also look at how do we attract these people to come back home. Other nations are doing it. They need to build that bridge. And how do you do that? I don't have the answer to that. You have to get panels of talking with people like Coach. What will it take to bring you here? Open the doors. Don't be scared.
Yeah.
Leadership requires that if you don't know, you surround yourself with good people. And at the end of the day, one thing we have learned as a nation is that no matter how long it is, after 22 years, Yahya Jammeh is in exile.
Yeah.
Sadauda is here because he's got peace and he respected the Gambian people. He did his best. This government need to respect the people. They need to create jobs. They need to get to work, and they need to respect the Gambian people.
Mr. Sirili, as an economist, you were always on the radio talking about our economic status. And when this government came, they said, in fact, today when we had Ahmad, he said to us, when we came, we had 1 week reserve at the central bank. But today we had up to 6 months. What's your assessment of what would you tell us you think the situation of the economy? And also, secondly, when this government came, all the windows were open, international windows were open. Many of us thought these people did not take advantage of it. And the door is getting narrower and narrower. Gambia was really, really, really open for people to just, it was like there were so many opportunities for investors, for international community to pour in money.
Yeah.
But the family is narrowing down. Did the government really take advantage of that?
Yes, they did.
They did?
Yeah.
Well, how?
I would disagree with my colleagues on this one. Look, we're talking of 12 months, Fatou. The government took over 12 months.
Yeah.
An institutional transformation, 12 months is not sufficient time for somebody to turn around things. Nowhere. Even in the Western world, at the level of the institutions, it could take more than 12 months to turn around an institution. So, look, let's look at objective assessment of the situation. I know the Gambians have great expectation. It's natural that we'll have great expectations because we came out of the black hole. Now we want something better for ourselves. And the euphoria is there. And I'm not going to blame anybody for us having euphoria, but we also have to be realistic in our assessment. We have, look, the government was bankrupt when the change happened. Nothing was left in the coffers. We can see the evidence from the Commission of Inquiry. The Janneh Commission, the way Jammeh, messed up with our funds, the consolidated funds of the central bank. If you look at the budget speech that the finance minister made at the budget, 31% of our 13 billion budget is going to debt financing. Is the biggest chunk of our budget is going into debt financing.
But we will further have debt. Sorry, I will interrupt here.
No, let me just finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me just finish. I'll move on to you. So among all the key sectors of the economy, agriculture, health, education combined, the basic and the higher got 2 billion combined. But you're talking of 4 billion going to debt services. So that shows that when the government came over, they obviously got a lot of goodwill from the international community, and the European Union had to release an emergency fund for us, for the government to start something. So, in fact, before I move on to the economy, Coach said something. I don't know whether I misheard him, but for any Gambian to think that Jammeh's level of communication is better than this government, that's completely ridiculous.
What you see,
because let me finish. Let me just finish. I would make this point. That's the most laughable comment that anybody would say. For 22 years, Jammeh wasn't doing any press conferences.
Can I
he never did any
expectations.
Look, I'm not going to use Jammeh as a benchmark compared to this government.
Who used Jammeh as a benchmark?
No, but listen, you said the talk in the town.
No,
is that some people are even thinking that Jammeh was better.
But that's a statement of fact.
No, but this is what I'm responding to.
But you see what is dangerous. You know what is dangerous?
I'm not. Look, let me
be realistic.
Let me finish my point, Coach.
I'm not too defensive.
I'm not defensive.
What I'm telling you here is, first of all, you start disagreeing with us about something that we've not even.
No, but Coach, we're having a debate. We're having a discussion. Look. I agree with you on a lot of things. What I understood from what Coach said was the talk in the town. And this doesn't necessarily mean that Coach said it, but maybe he heard it from people that people are saying Jammeh was even better. That's completely false. Jammeh never organized any press conferences. The only time Jammeh travels when he lands at the airport, talks to GRTS. None of Jammeh's ministers organized press conferences. Jammeh's press director never organized press conferences. Look, let's give the devil his due. This government, when they came, we have seen press conferences by the ministers. We have seen press conferences by the press. What I would agree with is the lack of continuity. That I will have problem with. Because when you start something good, you should build on it to make it better. They should even organize more press conferences. Because like Nyanja said, communication is key. But you cannot start something good and then it fades out. When it fades out, then that will bring concern. But for anybody to compare it to the previous regime, in terms of communication, I think that's
it sounds like you're holding brief here, and I think we were trying to have a non-partisan
I'm not
discussion. Hold on, let me just hold on. I'm not holding brief. But hold on. But hold on.
Well, I'm a citizen.
No. But you know, there are undertones here, and I can see the undertones.
Somebody could judge you as well.
No, but let me finish. It's an entitlement that I have, and my entitlement.
Just like I have an entitlement.
But let me just finish, please, Fatou. I've listened to him uninterrupted. I mean, you ask a question to him about the economy. and what's his take on what was happening? Well, he started answering that, but he also deviated to make a point that Coach made. And that's where my issue about holding brief came. But I will go back to the economy. You know, you were talking about debt.
The debt financing,
And our debt financing will still be a problem because we were hoping that going forward, Gambia will at least for once streamline our diplomatic footprint. Instead, what are we seeing? An expansion of our diplomatic footprint. That's a financial liability once again for a nation that's already debt-ridden. You see, we have to say one thing. The budget, some people will say it has been slashed, but people like me, we will say that the budget has been reallocated. Money is taken more from OP, which was Jame, now foreign affairs. Because if you look at the foreign affairs bill, it's higher now than before. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, they've got more.
So what has happened is reallocation of resources.
But the deficit has gone down.
No, hold on. You're back to my point. My point is, what we wanted to see is for Gambia to have a structural adjustment, because the economy needs a structural adjustment. It means Gambians need to swallow a bitter pill. We cannot swallow a bitter pill when there is an enlargement of our diplomatic footprint. You know, we have to be fair, and once we're fair, we have to state things as they are. You're an economist, I am an economist. We know the facts, and we should not massage the facts. The budget, as we all see it, we should put it in perspective. The perspective is it's still an ambitious budget that's relatively bigger than our revenue base.
Obviously.
Therefore, we have a problem. If that is our problem, we should go back to our politicians and say, look, we want a Nivaquin pill for the Gambia because we're going through hard times. And that's what I expect from you. That's what I expect from myself. And that's what I expect from the Exchequer. And see, leadership has to be not only decisive, but they should set the examples. We should not be the examples. They should be the examples. Then from the top down, we can follow. But they cannot instruct us bottom up. And when they are not showing us better examples.
I didn't want to make this a dialogue between you and I, because look, it's all perspective, Nyanjai. You mentioned about the reallocation. Look, you know, and I know, the deficit has been cut.
Yes.
So how did that come about? That couldn't just come out to mere reallocation, but some of the allocations have been slashed. Let's be realistic. Some of the allocations have been slashed. Look, you talk about the foreign affairs budget. That's a concern. But the justification that the finance minister did at the parliament could convince some people, but maybe not convincing to you. Like the embassy in Brussels, for example. Some of the buildings are not owned by the Gambia. They need refurbishment. So some of these things have they have given justification. Yes, not every citizen will be convinced with those explanations. I agree with you. Look, we're a third world country, Mr. Njai. You know that. We're a third world country. We cannot have a revenue more than our expenditure. We can't. Tell me one third world country that has got a budget surplus. Name me one.
We're not looking for surpluses, but what we want, we want our deficit financing to be spent on development, not recurrent. See, recurrent is just like buying gas for your car.
I didn't want to make this into like an economist debate.
But then,
let's
for me
talk about
personally, allocating more money to the foreign service, Coach, don't you think also that we need to work on developing our relationship with the international community? Because that relationship has been destroyed.
Completely.
In fact, let's say there was no relationship. So the foreign ministry allocating more money to the foreign ministry, from my own perspective, I'm not an economist, so I don't know all the, but that's where I'm looking at, Coach. What do you think?
Well, I would not have opened an embassy in Algeria, at least not yet, because I don't see what benefits
Switzerland
right now.
Switzerland is key.
Yeah, but here is the issue. I want to come back to what Mr. Lee, Sadie Lee was saying. I think he was very eager to defend.
I'm not defending. I'm just spending my opinion.
I listen to you. The issue here is when it comes to communication. I'm not stupid to compare Jame to Barrow.
Absolutely.
This is why I fought Jame for 23 years. This is why I was exiled for 22 years in this country. I'm not exiled yet, am I?
No.
So the issues are different. And the worst thing that you can do is to use Jame for justification of whether to against Barrow or to support him.
Yeah.
Because Jammeh is the worst example
Yes.
to use. Just because Jammeh did not have press conference, Jammeh did not care about anybody but himself. What I'm saying is very simple.
Yeah.
This government has an opportunity, especially from Barrow, who talks to people like human beings, not Jammeh who insults people.
Yeah.
To tell people, listen, this is our situation, this is where we came from, and this is where we are going. That people will be easier, it is easier for me to listen to Barrow than it had ever been to listen to Jammeh. Listening to Jammeh was torture.
Yeah.
He would insult you, he would lie, okay? He would be arrogant, he would everything you will talk about.
Yeah.
When you listen to Barrow, you look at somebody who's humble. I've spoken to Barrow, I've said this before the election.
Yeah.
I spoke to Barrow when he was selected as a candidate.
Yeah.
I spoke to him again the day before the election, and the last time I spoke to him was when he won and became the president-elect.
Yeah.
And I've mentioned that all the times that I've spoken to this guy, I spoke to the same person.
Yeah.
He's very humble, he listens, and all that. And when Barrow speaks, you see, when you have something, one thing that Obama had that he used very well was communication. One thing that Bush had and could use, Bush would come here and dance and do all his foolishness.
Yeah.
Before you know it, he could have the whole people shouting. When you hear people say, USA, US, it's from him.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing that Reagan had that he used effectively was communication. One thing that what you might call it, all these good leaders, Kennedy and all, what they had had their strength and used it for them.
Yeah.
What disturbed Bush Senior was lack of communication. Even though when he was in power, they are telling you the economy was doing better. But because he was not this charming guy that people were listening to, it was very easy for people to mold him into what they wanted.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm saying that the one thing that Barrow can use is this effective communication skill that he has, where people see him as a very respectful guy that they can listen to. If people are listening to you, talk to them, chances are they would agree with you. That's what I'm saying. It would be foolish of me for anybody to say that, you know what, this government comes, and that's why I started that. And within 12 months they can solve the country. They cannot. And if you, when I said that to solve the country's problem can take anywhere between 30 to 50 years because of the level of destruction. But what I'm saying, and it is a fact, irrefutable fact, that unless the Gambian people understand what we have inherited, how far we are going, chances are they would just sit there and say, you know what, we can talk about deficit reduction, that we have had allocations, as long as the poor farmer is not feeling it means nothing to them. Period. You look at America. When Obama was there, what do you talk about? The economy. He's doing good. We've created jobs. The employment rate has gone to 5%.
Fatu, do you mind me to just quickly respond to Coach?
But the reality of the matter here is, if you look at the United States, the Deep South, the what do they call this?
Bible Belt.
The Bible Belt and all this. They were not feeling that economic growth. And this was why it was very easy for a panderer like Donald Trump to stand there and tell them all this foolishness. And what did they say? Oh, he's a billionaire, he had businesses, he can run the economy. Now, everything that Obama worked for, he is enjoying. That's why every day he's on Twitter. Oh, the employment is now less than 5%, all thanks to me. The deficit has been reduced thanks to me. But it was the work that was done by these people. That's all.
Let me just make a quick clarification and we move on. Look, I get dumbfounded many times I hear people say, we shouldn't mention Jammeh's name. We shouldn't compare Jammeh. Look, we cannot remove his name from our history.
Nobody said that.
Now listen, let me make clarification there. Because, in fact, Coach brought Jammeh's name into this discussion.
But who said that?
And it wasn't from you directly, but from the talk, apparently, quote unquote, talk in town.
Yes.
And I'm responding to that talk in town, not Coach per se. Directly, so what I'm saying here is, Mr. Njai knows this, and I know this. Most statisticians will know this. When you make comparison, you have to compare, make a reference point. We cannot compare this government without making reference point to Jammeh. Be it that it's not a good way to compare, but Jammeh's name would have to come into the discussions. Because look at the budget speech. When the finance minister delivered the budget speech, he was comparing 2018 budget to 2017, but it's 2017 to 2016. They always have to be a comparison.
Yes.
And that is because, and when we talk about that year, we're talking about Jammeh. Look, I agree entirely with Coach that communication is key.
Yes.
communication, without communication, without the effective media, the democracy can't go forward.
Yeah.
And you talk about the upgrading the living standard of people. Yes, that's the whole essence of governance.
Yeah.
You want to govern people because you want to improve the living standard of people. I think every government takes that, promise.
Yeah.
You campaign on that. The coalition government campaign on that. They want to improve. Look, the budget is not all that bad. We have seen tariffs zero rated on rice. Import duties on basic commodities. Is that not going to translate to affecting the
taxes are still high though.
No, listen. The corporate tax have been reduced.
But you see,
the corporate tax have been reduced. Look, listen. The physical discipline has to be there, and the government has promised that there will be physical discipline.
This way I say is not hearing what I'm saying because I believe my friend is so eager to defend.
Coach, I think you should remove the word defend because I'm here as a citizen, just like you.
Dude.
I could also accuse you of attack.
That's fine.
So let's not use the word defend.
But what I'm saying here is, you see what he's saying?
Yeah.
You see this communication here?
Yeah.
That's why I said communication.
It's key.
You understand that? You know why?
Yeah.
Maybe you are educated.
Yeah.
You are an economist. You read it. You understood it.
Yeah.
But chances are, that person sitting in Borakunda or wherever, chances are may not even know this.
Yes.
To the extent of that person thinking that government be there for that.
Yeah, but I agree with you.
That's why I'm saying
we should build up communication.
You see, that's what I'm saying. Listen, let's not just go to Kilenge attack. Let's look at what we're saying. If you are saying it's because you have the information.
Yes.
You have the information. I have the information.
But I got it where it was said at the parliament. It was parliament. Everybody heard it.
Listen, they say it in parliament. Come on now, say it. In parliament. I went to the parliament.
Yes.
How many people watch the parliament? If they watch it, how many people will even understand the language?
I listened to the translation by Sergio Barro in local languages of the budget.
Listen.
Anyway,
you know why it was easy for you to listen to Sergio Barro and understand it?
Yeah.
Because of the language itself.
Okay, let's move on.
If you understand the whole concept of economics, it doesn't matter in which language it is said, you will understand. The person who only knows the government,
wow.
Lu buga dega moy language bobu la understand. Nga ko wax deficit de sonna du xam luy deficit. Ya ko understand? But that's why I'm saying that it is important.
Yeah.
Unless that communication happens, and this has been happening for so long.
Yeah.
The people are pretty much removed from the realities of what is happening. Period.
Okay.
Mr. Kubali, there has been a lot. We are watching the commission, the Jana Commission, and then we see a lot of people's name coming up, people that are still working with this government, and there's been a lot of call. There's always this saying, "Why diaspora?"
Us and them.
Yes.
Us and them. Why diaspora? They want to run our government. They want to dictate. The coach, Pastor Majaus. Every time you see coach on Facebook Live, right? I'm not be more address it. And then there's always this call. Some people say, because this person has to go because he was serving in Jammeh's government. But if we want to get rid of everybody that served in Jammeh's government, really, especially the technocrats, do you think there's anything that we should do?
Listen, before I address that, the conversation that just took place here, the whole budgeting process, it doesn't matter where the money goes to which ministry. What matters is how does it affect the average person in Basse,
Yes.
in Sarangai, in Tambasansan. And this is what people need to understand. This type of conversation is why the farmers are still suffering. And what we need to understand, and for people to really understand, is now that the budget has been done, we can't undo it.
Yes.
The debates have taken place. Let's now put the pressure on our leaders to understand that they need to now start creating those jobs, making sure they create those roads, making sure that the commerce starts, hospitals are built. But coming back to what you're asking right now, you can't fire everybody. Now, I work in a hotel environment, in hospitality, and we move around. When you move, there's a nervousness that there's a new manager coming in. When you come in, there's a grace period where you have to watch and understand what kind of team you do have. Now, it's a team where there has been corruption, killings, and a lot of rampant theft. There has to be a reading process, but you have to be very careful how you do it. Because you don't want an unstable environment. You don't want a situation where people are so nervous about their jobs that they cannot perform. I think the government had to more look at how to balance it.
Yeah.
It's a balance act. And how do you get that balance act? It's through conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer. You don't know the answer. I can sit here and say every department head can go, and then we can, create new members there.
Yeah.
They need to find a way to make sure that they're listening to the Gambian people.
Yeah.
Now, if you are accused of something, and there's a case against you, after this Janet commissions, it's all done. If they find that there's a reason to take you to court, then at that time, maybe you can be relieved from your job and say, listen, you've got a court case to answer to.
Yeah.
You can. But you cannot also just come and just fire people and just blaze through.
Yeah.
You cannot do that. If you do that, you're going to create a state of panic. And whereas people will not trust in the government. And the government it's such a balance act, and this is where communication has to happen. And Coach had said it, and everybody agrees that Barrow is an excellent communicator, speaks all the languages.
Yeah.
So he needs to get out there and speak to the people and tell people what is happening. Sometimes people are not only complaining for these people to be fired, they want an explanation.
Yeah.
Yes.
And once they hear the explanation, then they get to
Coach,
understand.
you have when you see people that when you protested, the people that called police on you, when you see them being hired in the new government, and there are so many capable Gambians, how does that make you feel? You go to embassies, you protest, and these people call police on you, and you're arrested, and you see those people being hired by the same government.
Well,
how does that make you feel?
It's interesting. With me, it's fine calling the police, because to me, I believe it's always an opportunity to teach the government here that was here on how protesters are dealt with. But the issue that I have though is like, and I had this discussion with Mr. Dabo. We had him on our show and we went back and forth. To me, Abdullah Boja should not be hired to be a cleaner. And the reason for that is this guy had a position that was so powerful and tabled a bill that could have brought this country into a bloodbath. Because that stupid state of emergency bill that was passed in the National Assembly, to me, is a slap in everybody's face. If you want somebody, they could go and find anybody in the streets and make him an ambassador. If I were to make him an ambassador, I would send him to Guinea-Bissau. I'm not going to send him to South Africa, which is one of the most prominent African countries in the world. To me, that was a mistake. And you're talking about that. I have another issue that I believe that the Ministry of External Affairs would look at. There's this guy called Lamin Fadera. We call him Queen. He was the longest serving driver at the embassy. We came to the embassy to protest. They had changed their doors. Now they had locks and CCTV and everything. So they did not want to open the door for us. This man opened the door. He's been out of a job for over 2 years now.
Wow.
That's unfair.
We have non-Gambians driving for the embassy.
Senegalese and Indians.
Yes, and I believe it is absolutely important that this guy who has not committed any crimes be given back his job
True.
in that country.
I agree.
Now, as to those whose names have come up in the commission, they are corrupt and they are corruptible people. If you are appointed as a minister, as a permanent secretary, you take an oath to protect the Constitution.
Let me clarify that. The names are just coming up, or they've been used by the president to go do transactions.
That's where you become corruptible.
Okay.
Because you take an oath to defend the Constitution without fear, favor, affection, or ill will. If your job is to be the governor of the central bank, to make sure that you are going to comply with the rules of the central bank, the laws of the country, and Mr. Sedili comes to you and said, I'm the president, I want you to send me a bag full of $3 million, and you stuff it in a bag and send it to him, you are corruptible. And you have violated your oath. So I believe anybody who has been named in that commission, the Faderas and all these people, I'm not talking about fire them, but at least put them on administrative leave until their names are cleared. Because this is the way that we can build the transparency that we want in our country.
I totally agree.
Again, this is where I'm going with that. Now, I think this is what the commission is doing. They're trying to establish facts. Now, what Coach is saying is definitely something that happened. But then those people also have the right to defend themselves. And this is why it's very important for the commission, for the Janet Commission to be taken very seriously. Because once they are done, they're going to have to tell the Gambian people that we think Coach Pasamba Jao, what he did, it's a crime that can be tried. And at that point, I think that will be, stage where you can say, Coach, we have a case against you. At this point, we're going to relieve you of your services, actually unpaid, because of the fact that you have to go defend yourself. You cannot work competently. So now you're giving the people a reason why. You've given a process. It's just like what Coach did. When Coach called me in the morning and said, we're going to do, Operation Bormor. He was alerting people. He was giving us information that I'm going in there barehanded. So when he was arrested, they found him barehanded. But the U.S. government didn't just say that you came here, you were not invited, this and this. They put him through a process. And once they found out that it was not right, it was a long process. But the government people, this is why I said we have to be a little patient, because
so that's why
crimes are going to get
to wait for the process.
Process has to be completed, because you know what? If I were to find myself at the central bank and money is missing, and all of a sudden, yes, I am the main man, and I give the money to Barrow, for example, there's a reason why I give it to Barrow. Why? Today, Demba Balde had an interview with, what's his name? Sabali. And Sabali, to him, he was acting in a certain situation. Now, once a commission that are educated and they understand their profession said, we have reason to believe that you acted illegally and you broke the constitution of the Gambia, then we can try the person. But until then, I'm a little bit uncomfortable just going. Now, just firing anyone. Now, if it is somebody who killed, and we know that you killed somebody, there's a lot of things happen, Father. We don't know where we started and we don't know where we're going. So we need to be very, very careful. And this is why the justice system has to work. And also at the same time, also the economy has to work. But it's a healing process. What is fine? You come in. I've moved from Seattle to Los Angeles to Dallas. I've taken over departments. Once you come in, you know the bad ones in the department. In the department, but you cannot just fire them.
You just cannot fire them directly.
Some people you have to let them fire themselves, weed themselves out, and then the ones that you know that are incompetent, you find cause to let them go. But just to come and say, Fatou, you don't look that great. You have been accused of stealing under the other leadership, or you incompetent. You incompetent really because he was my manager. So this is all I'm saying. I'm not saying leave them there, okay? But leadership is very difficult. Barrow is there to represent the people and make the Gambian people comfortable. He needs to be very careful, make sure that anybody who loses their job, anybody who is in prison, that we believe in a system, because for 22 years we never had a system that we believe. All we wanted for 22 years was for Yaya to treat Gambians decently. He didn't do it. We got into dictatorship. Let's learn to treat people and then move forward from there.
Finally, before we go, Sehu, do you really think this government is setting us a foundation? Because I always quote Daddy always say, this government is not going to take us to where we want, but they are going to set the foundation. Do you think they are on that route?
Well, yes, I think they are. But I just also want to emphasize, I don't know whether you give me permission for me to get a quick response to what the question you asked, Coach. I agree with him entirely on this, 100%. I think if I had it my way, those whose names have been compromised in the Janet Commission should be sent on leave, on holiday, until the commission finishes its work. And then if they are not indicted by the commission, probably the government can rehire them.
But then you have to pay them back, pay that.
Yes, no, when you suspend them, you send them on suspension. I think that should happen, because I think it's unethical, in my view, to have people whose names are coming up in the commission minute by minute still around President Barrow, still around the corridors of power. I think that's unethical. And you see, this is what but it's a government decision, probably. They are looking at it from a different perspective, saying that we want to wait until the commission finishes work before we take action. But I don't think that should happen. And this is one area that I don't agree with the government. And that will just emphasize one thing. I'm not defending anything. I'm just speaking my mind. I don't agree with the government when they appoint certain people. I complained when they appointed Kinte as the CDS. I said that publicly on social media. And I complain about, you say, Ambassador Bojang and few people that have been appointed. I think like Omar Faye in the embassy, being the deputy ambassador, a lot of people complain about this. We are citizens. We are just giving our opinions on these things. But at the end of the day, I think when it comes to the commission, Fatou, people like Sabali, Sabali is no longer in the government now. But you've seen people in the government whose names are coming up all the time, and still they've been either Oba has been moved from Secretary Cabinet to GNPC as even a better pay scale.
Yeah.
A better pay scale. He's going to earn more money there than as a Secretary Cabinet. I know. Government pay scale. Yeah. You can't be compared to GNPC, what they pay their staff. But look, these things need to be relooked at. They need to be looked at again. But this is one area that I would agree with my friend, Coach. Finally, we are on the same page. I agree with him and I agree with Nyang. I had Krubali's perspective. Yeah. Which, these are all opinions. It's all dependent on. But talking about the foundation, look, it is this government's responsibility to lay the foundation, Fatou. It is their responsibility. And when you ask me whether they will be able to,
whether they are,
because it's
almost 1 year.
Yes, I think they are. Okay. It is at the pace at which some people want it to be slow for them, but for me they are. Look at the TRRC is gonna come. The bills have been passed. We're gonna have the constitutional review. These are all processes. So the government is just resting on their laurels, not doing anything. Things are happening, but probably, like I said at the beginning, people want it faster. That's it. But to say that it's not happening, I disagree. Things are happening, but either it's slow. But we have to look at the government's. Look, when this government took over, there's one thing the international community said. They don't want witch hunt. Look, this is a triangular relationship, Father. Look, we are the apex of the triangle, Gambians, because this is our country. Yeah. But we also have got the international community watching us, watching this government. They are looking at what this government is doing. I'm not saying that that's most important. We are the most important because we're the citizens. But again, there is no government in this world that deals without the international community. And the international community may not think like we are thinking. So they want to look at things and look, sometimes the pace of development also is slowed down by the international community. Yeah. You know this. Disbursements at the level of international community are not quick. When the EU gave that 225 million euro, a lot of people in the diaspora said, where is the 225 million? Not all that money has been released. Not all that money has been released. It takes slow. Things are slow. And people say the money have been given to the youths. People think, Fatou, the way government machinery works, it's not like the private sector. Yeah. Private sector is way quicker than the government.
But Mr. Sadili, I think the best advice we can give this government is to have a two-pronged approach to building new Gambia. Yeah. One is proactive, the other one is retroactive. Yeah. The president and the executive must be proactive, forward-looking, because our lives are not on hold. Let them build the country. Yeah. But I think one thing that's missing and the president should have had is to set up what is called Gambia Reform Council. Gambia Reform Council will take care of constitutional reform, the commissions and everything, and these people will be backward looking. Then Gambia will not be arrested. At this point, we are arrested, and this must stop. We need a council that will take care of basically stock taking, everything that happened in the past. Let the president move on into the future. We want to move on. I am a victim, and probably there are other victims. I've lost a home. And I am telling you, it's going to take me nothing less than 5 to 7 years to get that settled. Yeah. My life is not on hold. So therefore, if there was a mechanism that will be backward looking, whilst the president and the executive are forward looking, it becomes a win-win. Right now, the president is entangled with untangling Jammeh's mess, whilst the livelihoods and the paychecks of people are not waiting. So we must advocate to this government that, look, leave the things of the past with the council to handle. Constitutional reform, human rights, atrocities, reparations, everything else. Let them just take care of it. Us, the executive, let's move forward. And that's where Gambia Reform Council comes in.
Well, that's a brilliant idea.
That's a brilliant idea. Finally, you have to be Jehna. Mr. Krubali, what's going to be your final message to this government? If you have the opportunity to sit with the president today, what is going to be your message to him?
My message to the government, to the president, if I ever have the opportunity, is don't allow yourself to be surrounded where you're disconnected with the Gambian people. Because when you ran as a politician, you went to the people to give you the mandate. Now, Africans were very good. At once we have a president, we build that barrier around. And President Barrow needs to understand that the people that are around him cannot blind him from the Gambian people.
Thank you.
They cannot. There are some people around him, and that's what happened to Jammeh. When he came into power, every citizen that gets the opportunity to land the #1 job in the country, you must have some good intentions. But gradually you get circled in and you get blinded. And once that happens, what they're telling you, by the time you realize that they're not being candid with you, it's too late. Barrow must understand that he came from a foundation. That is the ordinary Gambian that was able to work and build his wealth with the Gambian people. He must not forget those people. The real estate company. There's millions of Gambians today that have land that they've paid thousands and hundreds and thousands of dollars. They don't have the documents for it. There is land issues. There is jobless. If you go to Basse, there is no employment. Employment doesn't exist. We don't always have to look at the Europeans. You can look at a department and restructure it and create jobs. I was in Senegambia last night, and I looked at the tourist area. I said, if you give me the opportunity to manage this place, I will automatically create 300 jobs for you, and I'll develop this place within a 5-year span. Because it's it's the heartbeat of our economy, our tourism. So we need to start looking at, don't always reach outside. The talent is here. It's within the Gambian people. They know it. They're managers outside. We are in Europe because they hired us as managers there. We can do it. We need to empower people. If Barrow can do one thing, is to create jobs for the Gambian people.
Thank you.
The young are suffering. That is what I've seen. And they're determined, because if you take the young out of here, you take them to United States, all of a sudden they become CEOs of companies, they become managers. So don't allow yourself to be so-called Mr. Barrow. And don't ever be disconnected with Gambian people, because no matter how long you are in this bubble, Jammeh, after 22 years,
he's no more.
It's no more. So I doubt that today, it's no more. Barrow is going to get there too.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kubali. Honest Gambia, if you're talking to President Barrow, what are you telling him?
Well, the president should be honest with the people. He should look at the interests of the Gambian people. Because when he took that oath of office at our embassy in Dakar, that was something massive.
Emotional.
Expectations are high, Fatou. So, like he mentioned about job creation, the role of the government is to provide an enabling environment. That's the role of the government. The government's role is not to create jobs for people. That's the role of the private sector. We have a private sector-led economy. That's the sort of system that we have.
But the government have to support.
The government have to create the infrastructure, electricity, the roads, create and use it, create incentive package.
Thank you.
Create opportunities for the private sector to tap on those ones, like the land reform that he mentioned, that needs to be looked at. That can attract investors to come into the country, because we have to improve on our competitiveness as a country. Our competitiveness is in serious danger, losing out to our neighboring countries. And so the government will have to look into this so that the private sector can capitalize on it. And the role of the media, obviously, we cannot overemphasize. The media is pivotal in the development process. But most importantly, if the president is honest and sincere with his people, to be a leader is not easy, but you have to be strong. And you have to be honest, in charge, in control. Don't allow yourself to be too manipulative. Once you do that, then hopefully with the help of the Almighty God, you'll see. President Barrow cannot do it all. He's just here to lay the foundation for the incoming presidents to build on what he has started. So this is what we should encourage our president. But the diaspora also, contributing about $200 million to this country, that 20% of GDP, have a crucial role to play.
Yeah.
The diaspora, we have got to change now. Our approach should change, in my view. It should be a partnership between us and the government, and the attitudes of the people have to change.
Yeah.
When the government does everything and the citizenry are not responsive, nothing is going to work. The Western world, you can see the citizens themselves respecting the laws of the country. They do it. They have this patriotic nature. My country, I want things to more. But people have a notion in this country is all government. Government has to do it. Government, yes, the government is the executive have to take the lead role. But we as citizens also have a role to play.
That's true.
And the mindset of the people in this country. Look, the youths. Everybody talk about the youths because if you want to get a clap, go to Facebook like an advocate for youths. I can do that. He can do it, and you'll get a lot of likes. But look, we don't want a lazy youth population. I said it in one of my Facebook lives. The youth should have clear this notion that it's all about going to Europe the back way. The youths have to make use of the opportunities that the government provide. In England, where I live, the government doesn't knock on the doors of the people to say, come and do this. The people want to do it. My daughter is now thinking of going to get a job. She's passionate. She wants to do it. But people want to sit down here and say, go get a fundara. Look, you can take the horse to the pond.
But you're gonna
force it. The government has the bigger role. Let me emphasize that. The government should come up with policies, sound policies. Let them look at the economy. Let them look, agriculture is key. Health sector is key. All these things are important, Fatou. But the citizens, the attitudes have to change as well.
Thank you so much,
Fatou,
Mr. Sedley.
give me 2 minutes.
Yeah.
To accuse the Gambian youths to be lazy, it's unfair. There is no jobs in this country. The reason your daughter, my son, who is 18 years old, is wanting to go get a job right now.
Because there's
jobs out there. We need to be very honest. I was one time that lazy kid in Basse that was beaten by my parents. Once I got shipped into Los Angeles, I became something. We need to understand that we need to stop blaming the youths. They're not the problem.
I disagree.
The people that are in the government, the people that are in the positions to create and better lives, that's what you did. You came here, you created lives, you created jobs. Because if government enables that for our people, if they enable that for the businesses, we need to stop blaming, because we see a young man that can get into a boat and risk their lives to go to Europe to work. If there's employment over here, they will stay.
Fatou,
that's another show, though. We have another show. I think that's another show.
We will have another show, but let me just make a clarification. Where Krubal is missing, I walked through the streets of Serekunda today just to have a haircut. Most of the barber salons are foreigners. You're telling me the youths in this country can't be a barber? You can't tell me that the mechanics in this country, most of them are Senegalese. Youths come from other countries, they start something. They do.
But gentlemen, they need to be prepared. They need to be equipped. Skills training centers. Skills training centers. But like I said, that will be another show. There's no skills training centers for this.
Thank you so much, Sehu. Thank you, Mr. Krubal. Coach.
Well, the guy who cut my hair is a Gambian. And he does that. He has a store.
Exactly.
And I have nephews who are running workshops there. I don't believe the youths are lazy at all. I believe that the chances are not available. And let's be realistic too. We are coming from a system that was broken. So this is why I said that sometimes we cannot just assume that just because this government is here, we forget where we came from. There is a reason why there is this struggle. How do we work to make sure that there would not be 40% unemployment in this country? It's the job that we all have to do. The youth of this country, I started working when I was 15. Other people did the same thing. But like what I have to say, if I were to talk to President Barrow, I've always said this. President Barrow has an opportunity to become one of the greatest presidents in the world. And he does not have to do much. All he has to do is to make sure that he has laid the foundation to make this Gambia one of the most democratic countries in the world. I came to this country after 23 years and I look at these businesses that I created. And I was saying to myself, okay, if people were risking their investments When Jammeh was here, where he will wake up one day and just dream about Modu Kurbale and take his business tomorrow and nothing will come out of it.
Yeah.
But people were investing. That's why you see businesses all over the place, people building their houses. Imagine what Gambians would do in a very open and democratic society.
Yeah.
To me, I believe that Gambia, this country has limitless possibilities. It would develop, and all this government would do and should do is to continue to build the foundation. I'm not going to sit here and say that they are not building foundation. I follow the National Assembly, and I see a very dynamic group of people
yes.
who are questioning things. People you cannot call boogeymen of any political party.
No.
Okay, I've sat there in the gallery and looked at their interactions. I've seen UDP supporters with members with CDI Jata sitting and having a chat.
Yeah.
And when they speak, they're not talking about UDP's talking points or DOI talking points, and no, they're talking about the problems of their constituencies.
Yeah.
So to me, that is an important component. I've seen them sit at the National and say, you know what, I was there. We are not going to hold this session until the cabinet ministers come here and are present together with GRTS.
Yes.
And that's what they did for the first time. And they came.
Yeah.
And they addressed them. So to me, the foundation is being laid. And this is where we as citizens should remain engaged.
Yeah.
Criticism is the best thing that you can give anybody. Criticizing doesn't mean hating. It's a reminder
constructive.
to those
constructive.
That's subjective. What may be constructive to you may not be constructive to me.
Yes.
What those that are leading
Yeah.
should have the ability to listen to a criticism from Mr. Sedili and say, you know what, this makes sense.
Yes.
That's what they are doing. But what thing Barrow also must understand, we have a very permissive environment for dictatorship in this country.
Yes.
If Jawara wanted to be a dictatorship, he could have been a dictator. He wanted to be a dictator, he would have been the greatest one.
Yeah.
And if Barrow wants to be one, he could be one.
Yeah.
Because
wow.
And now we have seen exactly what is happening now. You've seen the Barrow youth movements and all these foolish things that they are forcing him to create. Mr. President, you must understand what brought you to power.
Yeah.
It is the collective coalition of Gambians based on our hardship. I want him, every time he goes to bed, whenever he wants to make a decision, let him think about how Solo Sending was murdered. Let him think about what led to the death of Simbol Nyasi. Let him think about how Korosisi, Deda Haidara, the students, December 30th, and all these people who lost their lives. Thus leading to Gambians finally waking up and saying, you know what, to hell with it. We are going to come together and defeat a dictatorship, something that has never happened anywhere in the world. We've become an example to this world. And if Barrow understands that, then he will not allow anybody, just because the person was able to raise $100,000 and give it to you and say, now I'm sitting next to you, I'll even have an office next to you. And this, listen, you are the president of all Gambians, and your mandate is a transitional one. You made an agreement with the people. I don't care about the 3-5 years. You can do whatever you want.
Yes.
But do not be sucked into this nonsense of from your own political party run again, because because they would like I said to Barrow, am na ñoo xamne siboru kat lañ te la leen taxa siboru du sa success yow waaye ñoom send access to you. So if Barrow understands that he can retire as a very respected world leader. Whatever you don't get in this presidency, you can get post-presidency, because you will be one of those leaders that the international community will be calling and say, you know what, go to Haiti, they have a problem, and try to see how you solve the problem. You become an ambassador to this world, something that is greater than anything else. Yahya Jammeh cannot be anybody's ambassador because he allowed himself, together with his wickedness, to turn into a tyrant and enjoy this power.
Yeah, right.
That was so dear to him. Look at Ablai Wada today. His fight to continue to lead has pretty much sidelined him in the world, when he could have been one of those leaders that people would have been called upon. So to me, I'll continue to speak. Duga is here as a registered entity now.
Yes, congratulations on registered entity in the Gambia.
Yes. To work with everybody, and our goal would
activism, right?
Yes, activism. And then to also help work with political parties, work civil society organizations, because we believe that it's not only the government's role for civic education, but we will work with people to understand the value of democracy, to protect our democracy, to also strengthen on it, so that we will become one of these countries that will be the most respected in the world, irrespective of our size.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Coach, and congratulations on launching Duga Gambia chapter. We are really, so many of us are inspired by Duga, and thank you for what you did for Gambia. Oli
waxut dara waxut lu bari di
so ay buggee wax rek ma ne ko yow noppi man daal li ma wax mooy it seems that wax nañ ñëpp especially when it comes to the communication thing because man si xale yi laa bokka te I got to this point man sax dama fed up because every time dama di wax ne luy next luy xew what's going on we want to know ba pare make nañ fi valid points like ki toog base bugga naa xam and then leeral loo xam ne dafa am loo xam ne dama ko dee wax saa yu nekk suñu local languages yi dañ ko war a door di ko utilize angale bi ñoo laaka everywhere to start with even on TV programs keroog maa ko wax we have a kids TV program that they do in English man sa maa ngi ne nañ ko def si olof xale yi mun a gën a expressé moom ñun ñëpp ñu gis si suñu bopp beneen laaka boo xam ne ku nekk na si gis sa boppa so communication bi is key dëgg la we have to speak English is the mooy national official language waaye ku mel ni président Barrow coach wax na ko dafa am lu kenn amul mooy when he talks people listen because soo gisee ñu dugg into politics biñ ne Barrow leen tànn dañ bari ñoo xam ne musuñoo xalaat pour dugg into politics because moom la soo na génn mu wax nit ñi na use soose bi mu dégg olof saraxule bi muy saraxule ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi toog feneen ñu mun a dégg xam ne dëkk bi lii la fi ba pare daf ñu I think ne war nañoo wax lim fi fekka benn tey loolu defuñ ko benn at fuñ tollu Gambia because man su dee mën naa remember ak si li ma dégg yaa jaame bi mu jëlee at least waxoon nañ ne lii la fi Jawara bàyyi soo ñu mun a wax ne lii lañ fi fekka nii la moo demee su ko fee nit ñi mun a giifal nit ñi dina wàccee seen yaakaar ne ñi nekkuñ di fi def dara and then just come in foog ma dellusiwaat tuuti rek parce que amoon chance jël suñu ñu mel ni yéen moom soxla nañ dem waaye ñu just delluwaat ba tuuti rek when it comes to li ñu wax ne mooy li nit ñi di wax si mbedd bi I don't think it was on press conferences ak yooyu it was more of nit ñi gisuñ dara like comme dëkk bi li ñoo mooy lan la fi Barrow def lan la def si lan la nekka so it was more on that aspect than press release yi comme suñ ko waree compé yaa jaay mos a def press release which we know so wax boobu it was more of nañu Barrow wax dañu bëgg a xam nañu ñëw adresse so I think ne tamit jàng na tuuti because fine ñu ngi def presse waaye nañ use suñu local language nañ wax ak jigéen ñi nga xam ne ñoo toog si dex bi ñoo ko sànni loo jigéen ñi nekk si faram ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi si agriculture bi ñooñu dañ leen soxla because man ak yow ñi jàng man ak yow ñi toog si Facebook bi we're very tuuti si suñu carte yi ñu am carte yi winning bi yëpp du fii fede la so ñooñu nga war a waxal ñooñu ñoo soxla pour seen doom yi ñoo doon dem si baak wéy bi dégg la boor bi am na ñuy dem waaye ëpp doole bi ñuy jàng man ak yow demuñ ñii dem yëpp fële lañ jóge waaw oli fii nag fii tegal sa baaraam fii kay ñu am mbégte lool dalal fii comme ni nga ko waxee coach Pasama Diaw thank you so much coach for what you did for Gambia definitely Gambian yi appreciate nañ waaye ñun ñu nekk si social media bi xam nañ te appreciate nañ trop what you did and to GDF the forces behind GDF the Tukulor says the Joka says the Tunkaras and my ex-husband Pata PJ all of you liggéey bi ngeen def rafet na trop and we really appreciate it Gambian yëpp appreciate it obviously online radios yi the Freedom Radios the Fatou Network the Gainakos the Kibaros all online radios.
You didn't talk about DSS though.
And the DSS, and the
I wanted to
and the CDL. DSS, go ahead. DSS.
No, full DSS. Never could dig. And don't like you mean. Boy, Bukibu Sango.
Wow, that's for a solution, man.
Let me tell you. When I hear that.
Yeah, go ahead.
When I was in the US.
Yeah.
Protesting. Yeah. The UDP.
Yeah.
You're going to go into that area now.
I believe it was the most abused party. Because I've seen so many people who came to the United States and other countries seek asylum using the UDP.
Yeah.
When we had our protest, when Simbul Nyasi was arrested, whether Femi Peters was arrested, whether Solo Sendeng was arrested, when we went out to protest, the same people who had used this party to regularize their status would be sitting in their homes.
Yeah.
We'll go and have our protest 5 people, 6 people. These are people that did not have time to protest. Why not you do sorte direct? Amborom. So can you imagine? Ñan ñoo nekk bukki yu sango deribe ñi nga xam ne ñoo doon xeex when it was difficult and yaakaaruñ ci dara o ñi nga xam ne amoon nañ ci luñ ci njëriñoo xeex ba jot ñan doon xeexal ña taxoon ñu ñëw sax bi am asylum or whatever ñu ñoot leen nit ñi jóg di xeex nga toog sa kër tey nag ñoo toog di and I would gladly take it.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Coach, yaa ngi sànni xeer de da ngay leen la tontu de.
Thank you so much, Coach. I think this is a very interesting discussion. I wish ñu mënoon a expand lii. But thank you, Mr. Krubale. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sehu. Di gërëm bu baax a baax ñu ñëw seetaan until we come your way next week, inshallah. Good night to you all and bye-bye.